I'd like to introduce you to Jen. Jen is a factory worker from China. She grew up in a rural part of Sichuan. At age 16, she decided to leave her hometown to go and work in a factory. After a long journey, she ended up in a third-tier city and found herself a job in a factory like many other thousands of people making clothes. At first, she was really proud of herself for getting this job, but things quickly changed. She found herself living in this dormitory, which was really dirty and crammed with people. She was also forced to work these really long hours, and she wasn't paid for her overtime. On top of all that, she was forced to work with these dangerous, toxic chemicals day in, day out, which was harming her health. So one lunchtime, she decided to talk to the other workers in the factory to see how they felt about it. Turns out, all the other workers felt the same. They were really unhappy with the conditions, and they decided to talk about it, not just offline, but online too. Soon enough, other people found out, and the news hit the media. Stories like this happen all the time. And the CEO of any major company in the world is just waiting to see their brand on the cover tomorrow morning. The crazy thing is, there is no warning. Brands currently have zero idea what's happening in their factories and what scandal is likely to occur next. We're here to fix that, and we have a real-time, transparent data platform for brands, factories, and workers to see in real time not just how happy workers are, but how productive they are. So brands, factories, and workers can know their impact. How it works is that brands will pay to invite factories to our platform. Factories will invite workers to download our app. And on the app, workers can track how many products they're making, how many hours they're doing, and how much they're getting paid. Once a week, they can also complete a survey, which is just 3 simple questions they answer anonymously. And at any point in time, if there's a serious issue, all they need to do is tell us about it. Factories can see how this decreases their labour turnover, and they can also see how happiness drives productivity. Brands get to see risks across thousands of suppliers, and factories also get a profile page where they can share the good things they're doing and get more sales. The market size for this is absolutely massive and completely unaddressed. Just targeting the top 10 brands in the world alone gives us access to 500,000 factories. And there are 2.5 million factories in China alone. There are 1.2 billion workers across India, Vietnam, and Bangladesh, which is where production is moving. We are the first movers collecting real-time data on the supply chain in this area. This is important because it allows brands to be preventative with scandals rather than reactive. And the current model that brands use relies on auditing, which is somebody going to a factory once a year with a piece of paper and ticking boxes to see if it meets a standard. And this model has completely failed to identify if there's any serious abuse happening. And we are different because we're on the side of the factory, not just the brand and the worker, meaning that we track productivity as well as well-being. So factories know that investing in this will improve their business. The team have proven passion and execution in the space. So I'm Marianne, the CEO of No, and I've spent years traveling supply chains in China just to understand our users. To the point I worked in a factory in Ningbo, making 2,000 trousers a day on the line, just to talk to workers and understand their pain points. This came from a background of 7 years in total over social supply chains, And previous to this, I worked at a B2B tech startup where we sold technology platform with a pipeline of 10 million US dollars, where I helped close sales of multinationals like HSBC and Barclays. And our CTO, Tim, we met through the Entrepreneur First Accelerator program from London, which is backed by the founder of LinkedIn. He has a PhD in computer science from Imperial University and graduated in Imperial undergrad, top of his class. He also is an expert in data analytics and has served 2 successful startups as CTO. Chingy has a background in social compliance and factory auditing, and she spent 6 years working at the world's first factory audit firm for social compliance that grew out of the Nike scandal. So she's worked with brands like Nike, but also Walmart. And previous to this, she worked at Hong Kong sustainable fashion startup Grana, which raised $20 million in funding and grew from 5 to 140 people within 3 years. In terms of traction, we've already signed major brands, such as one of the top 10 retailers in the USA, as a paying customer. This gives us access to 2,000 factories and 1 million workers already. Daily active users are increasing, which is showing a positive correlation between happiness and productivity, driven by workers using our app to track their products every day. Our pipeline includes more of the top 10 brands. And in the next 6 months, we're going to close deals which will open up an additional 52,000 factories and 10 million workers, which is an annual revenue opportunity of 200 million US dollars.